Much. Women behind bars are unlocking their future with a pen and paper.
They're writing their prison stories with the help of award-winning minister Elaine Blanchard. Their stories of joy, of tragedy, of hope often, and of forgiveness. And Elaine joins us now. She'll be sharing those stories with you and with the public on September 1st. We'll tell you where in just a minute. How did this start for you, Elaine?
Well, I've told my stories. I'm a storyteller, and it sets me free in all kinds of ways. I think whenever we sit face to face and share our stories, we become more human. And so I want the women in prison to have a chance to be more human to those of us who are outside the prison.
And Elaine, with that in mind, were you a bit, maybe even pleasantly surprised how some of these women actually open up even more so to have that freedom, so to speak, while still behind bars?
I was surprised at how trusting and open and eager they were to be known as a human being, something other than an inmate.
Yeah, because in that situation, it is very regimented. You are known by your number, I'm sure.
That's exactly right.
And by the outside, by your crime, probably.
Exactly.
So what type of stories are we talking about here? Are we talking about hope? Are we talking about tragedy, forgiveness, redemption? What did you hear in these stories?
I'll tell you one of the stories. This was a story by Brenda, a woman who can neither read nor write, but she was in our class where you have reading assignments every day and writing assignments. So the other women in the class read her assignment to her every day and sat knee to knee and wrote her story for her. And here's one of Brenda's stories. I'm a grandma's girl, always have been. My grandma was so proud of me. Now, my grandma had other grandchildren. I must have been the best looking, because my grandma took me places to say, "This my grandbaby." I was so special, I slept with my grandma. Everybody else slept in the back of the house. One night, my grandma grabbed me up, opened the window, and threw me out in the yard. She said, "Run!" I didn't know what was going on, but my grandma ran back in the house. A neighbor man grabbed me up, pulled me across the street, held me on his front porch, and that's when I saw our house was on fire. The fire department came, the police came. I heard my grandma screaming. I heard my brothers and sisters screaming, too. That's the last night I had a family. Last night I had a home. Foster parents came and got me then. I've been in foster care ever since. I'm a grandma's girl. I always have been. My grandma picked me up, put me out the window, saved my life.
Wow. So that gives the audience, because you do this as a play.
Right.
You play the parts of each of your friends and your compadres
yes.
you've met in prison. It gives the audience sort of an understanding of what led Brenda to prison.
Where she is now. And it gives us a chance to say, oh, I could be a good neighbor and make a difference in somebody's life.
Elaine, do some of the women ever ask you what type of response have you gotten from those on the outside to their stories? Do you have any questions like that from them?
Certainly. We do the performance. I get professional performers to perform the stories inside the prison and then for the public, so that those stories are performed for those who wrote them, and they get a chance to look at themselves from the outside and think, oh, I could have done differently there, or I want to make changes, because you can look at yourself on stage and hear your story and make better decisions.
So maybe once they're out, they do make better decisions.
I think so.
September 1st, you've just got to check this out. A live performance Thursday at 7 at Voices of the South, which is in the Cooper Young area on South Cooper there, and there's the number for tickets. Thank you.
Elaine, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Keep telling the stories.
Thank you.
All right.